This week on Dolton News Now.
Jackson Hewitt just opened its new location right here in Dolton, and is helping residents get the most out of their tax return. President Allison Walker sits down to discuss financial resources for small business owners and the community.
Hello everyone, I'm Giovanni Nixon. Welcome back to Dolton News Now, a weekly news program that highlights what's happening throughout the village of Dolton to keep you informed and engaged. We all know that it is tax season right now, so what better guest to have with us than a tax professional who also happens to be the president of one of our newest business here in the village of Dolton. So good morning. We have Allison Walker with us today.
Good morning.
Allison, I'll let you go ahead and introduce yourself to our community.
Absolutely. Well, Giovanni, thank you so much for having me on the show today. I really appreciate it. I'm Allison Walker, and I'm the president of Jackson Hewitt Tax Service in Dolton. We recently have opened here in Dolton and had our grand opening on last Thursday. And so thank you very much to you and the trustees and Mayor Rogers for supporting that and for organizing it. We had a wonderful turnout.
We did.
Yes, and a wonderful time. So thank you.
You're welcome. Now, before we start diving into Tax 101, let's just talk about a little bit about you being a new business. Okay. So congratulations. You're our newest business here. Yeah, and what made you choose Dolton as the location for the new Jackson Hewitt?
Sure. Well, in looking at a tax franchise, I contacted Jackson Hewitt, and Jackson Hewitt sells territories. Okay, so one of the territories that was open was Dolton, Riverdale, and Calumet Park.
Okay.
And actually it wasn't open, truthfully. Someone had purchased it already, but had never put a Jackson Hewitt in any of those cities. So I went to Jackson Hewitt and asked them if I could purchase the territory, and they allowed it. And so Dolton is my first location. I do plan on opening another location in one of those cities in the near future, but I just love the city of Dolton, and so it's number one.
That's good. And because you mentioned the other surrounding suburbs, it looks like Jackson Hewitt Dolton location will still be able to service customers and clients in Riverdale and neighboring cities as well.
Absolutely, yes. And as a matter of fact, when I did some marketing for our new location, I also sent some marketing material to residents of Riverdale and Calumet Park to let them know that we are here to serve them as well.
That's good. So the word is not just for our Dolton residents. You can spread the word to friends and family that live nearby as well. Absolutely. Now, we're in the mix of tax season. If I'm not mistaken, filing begins on the 12th.
It does.
Is that correct?
On the 12th. But actually, you know, you can file with Jackson Hewitt as soon as you get your W-2. You don't have to wait for electronic filing for the IRS to begin. One of the things that Jackson Hewitt offers is a refund advance. So if you need money right now, you can come in right now as soon as you have your W-2s and file. Actually, the filing will sit in our database until the IRS opens up and is ready to go. But you can receive a refund advance, an advance on your refund immediately.
Let's dive into that because we know we are still in the midst of the pandemic. Yes. We have people that are still out of work or have reduced hours. Yes. So the refund advance means that residents can come in with all their documentation, go through the filing process. Yes. And even though it's not officially open with the federal government, you have the ability to see what their refund would be?
Yes. Yes. So we go through the process of actually doing the tax return. It's a full-fledged return. You submit your W-2s, your documentation, your 1099s, all of those things, and the tax return is completed. And the only thing that we're waiting on is for the IRS to accept it. But we partner with a bank called Republic Bank. And Republic Bank will, free of charge, there's no charge at all for this service, they will advance you your money, some of your money.
Okay.
Some of your money, let me just say that.
Okay.
And it's determined by the bank, but some of your money, up to $4,000 of your return back.
Wow.
Even before you get to the IRS. So
the advance, it's good that we open with that, I'm sure. That's a key point for many residents.
It is, absolutely, absolutely. And a lot of people have taken advantage of it. The Refund Advance, I will let you know, ends on February 21st.
Okay.
So after February 21st, you'll have to wait on the IRS to send you your refund. But before that, you could have your refund advance within 24 hours of filing.
And is this something that's applicable for individual filers? Is it also applicable to small business owners?
Unfortunately, it's not applicable to small business owners. Let me backtrack. If you have an LLC, which is a pass-through, and you are filing individually, and we're also filing your LLC, and you receive a refund on that, yes.
Okay.
But if you are individually incorporated and you have to file a corporate tax, Jackson Hewitt does not do corporate taxes.
Okay.
Okay, so Jackson Hewitt only does taxes for individuals and pass-through companies. So if you're a sole proprietor, maybe, you know, my hairstylists, truck drivers, etc., that haven't separately incorporated can still come to Jackson Hewitt, and yes, you can still get a refund advance.
That's good to know. I know that there's been, as always, you know, the industry and tax laws, they change and evolve. Are there any nuances or things that are somewhat different now because of coronavirus, the pandemic?
Absolutely. There are a lot of things that are new. So for individuals, and this is specifically to my seniors. So senior residents, if you don't normally file because you receive Social Security, retirement benefits, and you're under the threshold for filing, which for seniors is about $14,000 a year. If they make under $14,000 a year in Social Security, they really don't have to file.
Okay.
One of the things this year is that seniors can file in order to receive their stimulus money. So the IRS was sending out, of course, as everyone knows, $600 stimulus right payments to individuals, but it was only if you filed your 2019 taxes. So those who didn't file generally didn't get the stimulus. What we can do now is do a stimulus only file. It's particularly for our seniors, which means that if you get Social Security and you come in with your 1099, we can specifically file for you to receive your stimulus only.
That's awesome.
It is.
And then we, as you know, in Dolton, we do have a large senior population here, and we do have many residents that will fall into that category and may not have been aware of the benefits that they could take advantage of.
Absolutely. And Jackson Hewitt Dolton, our office, is offering a 30% discount to seniors over the age of 62. So seniors, you might want to come on in and get your stimulus and get 30% off of your tax preparation fees.
That's really awesome to know, like I said, with our senior population here. And then with our small businesses, we know that the LLCs, the small business owners, like you said, hair salons, those are entities as well that can take advantage of some of those services.
Yes, absolutely. And one of the changes, and this is for 2021, I'm just going to let small businesses be aware of this. One of the changes for 2021, so it wasn't 2020, but going forward, if a small business utilizes restaurant services and expenses it as a business expense, it's deductible at 100%. Let me say that one more time. Restaurant expenses for small businesses are deductible at 100%. In prior years, it was only deductible at 50%. Okay. But because the restaurant industry was really hit by the COVID-19 pandemic, the IRS has opened that deductibility up to 100%. So 100% of your meals as a business only. I don't want my individual taxpayers thinking they can just go out to these restaurants and eat and deduct everything. But our small businesses can, and that is in an effort to increase, the number of people that are going out to eat.
Wow.
And patron our restaurants.
And already you've given great information in terms of the advance option, for some seniors who didn't file, and then these resources for business owners. Have you found that a lot of business owners aren't privy to this information, or people have not really been made aware about it yet?
Truthfully, I have been surprised that business owners haven't known of that. I've told a couple of my friends who happen to be business owners, whether they're realtors, whether they, have consulting businesses, in 2021, as we're eating right now, you might want to pay with that business credit card, and they were not aware. And I think that is one of the reasons why we use tax professionals instead of, trying to go at it on our own, is that we have that knowledge. That's what we're paid to do. We're paid to stay on top of, what's new, what's different, because tax laws are constantly changing.
They are.
Yes. And so it's our duty to stay on top of those and make sure that we get the best return for our clients.
Yeah, and the reason I had that question was because I know earlier in the year last year at the onset of the coronavirus pandemic, we held workshops for small business owners about the COVID relief package.
Yes.
And there were a lot of business owners who didn't really know it existed
Yes.
or weren't familiar how to navigate that process.
Yes.
It's good to know that right here on Sibley Boulevard, the corner of Sibley and College,
Yes,
Jackson
absolutely.
Hewitt has tax professionals on site that can help share information that residents or business owners may not even know that they can take advantage of.
Absolutely. We're located at 801 East Sibley Boulevard. And so in addition to the Jackson Hewitt tax service, my company, which is called SBW Financial Services, also does for businesses. So if you're a corporation, if you have a partnership, etc., we do corporate taxes.
Okay.
We also do business formation. So say, you are a hairstylist and you are a sole proprietor, so everything was in your name, and now you want to incorporate, we can assist with that as well. Currently, I'm working on for businesses PPP applications, PPP loan forgiveness. I had a client who came in who had started paying back his PPP loan, and I said, why? He didn't know that it could be forgiven if certain criteria were met. So yes, where Jackson Hewitt itself only does individual taxes and pass through, SBW Financial, located at the same place, will do corporate taxes, help you with business formation, payroll services, bookkeeping services, etc.
And I'm glad you brought that up.
Yes.
Before you and I met today, I have a friend who owns, he's into real estate, and I was mentioning Jackson Hewitt, new location, and he mentioned, I'm not really sure if they do a lot with businesses, and I said, well, I'll ask today and find out. So now we have answers for those who may, be familiar with Jackson Hewitt and aren't aware that the location in Dolton has additional services. So this may not be something you can get at every Jackson Hewitt across the world, across
correct.
America, but our Dolton location has even additional resources.
Yes, that's true, because each Jackson Hewitt is individually owned and operated. Okay, so my company, which is SBW Financial Services, is doing business as Jackson Hewitt.
Okay.
Let's be real, tax season is only 12 weeks out of the year. So in those other 40 weeks, SBW Financial Services provides individual tax consultation for businesses, business formation services, bookkeeping, payroll services to businesses.
Okay.
And we are open year-round. One of the benefits of going with a Jackson Hewitt would be this. If, say, you filed your taxes in March, and in August, you get an audit letter from the IRS. If you've just gone to, your cousin to do your taxes, or to Sally Mae's tax service, they may be closed for the summer. They may not open back up until January, right? Our office is open year-round. In the summer and in the spring after tax season, we'll be on a skeleton schedule. We may not be open every day from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. like we are now, but we will be open for you if you get that audit letter, if you get a IRS reject letter. We didn't accept your filing because you filed with someone else. For my business owners who don't like to file those extensions, we are open past April 15th. And so, yes, I know because I'm one. we're open past that date. And so that's really the foundation of what we do as well. So it's not just from January to April.
So it's more year-round services.
It is very much.
And when you reference about those who may get, hopefully nobody gets these, but if you get a letter from the IRS, I know that Jackson Hewitt also has a guarantee in terms of accuracy with filing. Can you explain that a little bit?
Yes. So, yes, we do. We have a lifetime accuracy guarantee, and that is with every tax preparation service that we complete. And it simply means that we will let the IRS know the information that we used in order to file your return. Okay. We also offer a worry-free guarantee, which is above and beyond that lifetime accuracy guarantee. So that worry-free basic says that if anything happens, and it was on the part of our tax preps because, of course, mistakes happen. I was about to send my hairstylist $750 instead of $75 via Zelle. Things happen all the time, right? I caught myself before it was sent, but I was like, wow, how do you make that mistake? Things happen all the time. And so what Jackson Hewitt says is we'll stand behind our work. And if you upgrade to a worry-free guarantee, in addition to Jackson Hewitt paying the penalties and interest, which is what you get with the lifetime accuracy guarantee, we will also pay up to $1,500 if there's additional tax liability added to that, that issue.
That's the extra level of comfort.
It is.
So people know they don't have to worry about, making mistakes. Like you said, sometimes you may have a cousin or friend or family who volunteers their time but may not really have the professional skill set.
Absolutely.
Another thing I want to ask too, in terms of our business owners, kind of fall back to the business owners. I know that some people have tax debt. We're aware of that. And there's implications on filing, and sometimes people are afraid or don't really know how to move forward in cases of tax debt. So are there any specific messaging for those who may have tax debt, how that might impact filing?
Yes. So in terms of Jackson Hewitt has a tax debt service. It is not offered in the state of Illinois, though.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So SBW Financial.
I was just going to say, see, this is the benefit of a new business in our city. We have the luxury of all the Jackson Hewitt offers and then all the SBW Financial offers.
SBW Financial does assist with tax debt service. I can't give much information on it because it really depends on the amount of debt. Yes, the circumstances and how much work is involved in it. I'm working with a client right now on some tax debt service, and it's pretty detailed. It's pretty intense. He owes quite a bit of money, and so we're looking at doing an offering compromise. And simply that says, we don't have the money. We're in a financial hardship. Instead of assessing the penalties and interest and everything else over the years at $110,000, can you take this $20,000 right now? But again, it depends on the individual and the circumstances. But yes, we will assist individuals and businesses in that regard. But Jackson Hewitt itself does not offer that in the state of Illinois. Okay.
Well, good thing SBW is here to step in there as well.
Yes.
And in terms of this year, do you anticipate, or has there any conversation about extending tax deadlines? I know that, like, for example, some of the property taxes, they've just made an extension in Cook County to extend payments up until May without penalties. Has there been industry conversation on that for tax filing?
There hasn't for tax filing. And so, unfortunately, we here, and I mean, when I say we, I mean Jackson Hewitt and, our tax preparation industry kind of hears when, the IRS says, hey, we're going to push this back. Initially, filing was supposed to begin in the middle of January. Then it was January 25th. Then it got pushed to February 12th. So who knows? Last year, the deadline date was extended until July. So I don't know if that's going to happen this year. We're still kind of waiting to hear. But, as soon as we know, we try to get information out on our Facebook page. So we have a Facebook page, Jackson Hewitt, Dolton, Illinois. where you can find up-to-date information on things that are related to, your tax returns and preparation. Educators recently received the ability to deduct up to $250 for any sort of PPE, which is that personal protection equipment that they've had to purchase for classrooms. Up to $250 they can deduct if they itemize.
That's good.
It is. I don't think it's quite enough, but
Right. Especially if they've had to be in classrooms
Yes.
and it's essential that you had to have those items just for your own personal safety in terms
Correct.
of work.
Correct. If they've had to purchase masks, or they've had to purchase hand sanitizer, if they've had to purchase wipes, if they've had to purchase any of those things, and an educator itemizes, it can be deducted.
Which every educator has. That goes without saying.
Yes.
That's not even an option this day and age. Even us here in the studio, we're socially distanced, we're spread
Right.
apart 6 feet, just because
Yes.
we're adhering to all the safety precautions that
Exactly.
we all have to adhere to at this time.
Exactly. And our office also in Dolton has to do the same thing. We've made it so that, our chairs are 6 feet apart. We're also asking, if it gets kind of crowded, that people drop off. We have a drop-off service. So you can drop off your taxes. You can actually remote sign for your return and not have to come back into the office.
Okay.
We have a system that will text you when it's your time to come. So if you'd like to drop your things off and go shopping, come back, it will send you a text message and let you know you're next in line. So please start heading
that's
back to our
good.
store so that we can practice those social distancing requirements.
Now, are you accepting walk-ins at this time, or appointment, or combinations of both?
We are accepting walk-ins. We accept walk-ins. We accept appointments. You can go to jacksonhewitt.com and put in the zip code 60419, and our office will come up and you can make an appointment online. We do accept walk-ins. If you're walking in, there may be a little bit of a wait, particularly if somebody's come in that had an appointment. We're going to take that appointment first, but that's kind of where the texting comes in. So you can sit and wait, you can have coffee, you can have water, or you can say, I'm going to go to grocery store and come back later. I'm going to go to River Oaks Mall and come back. I'm going to go to Starbucks, whatever that may be.
So it's a good convenience.
It is. Yes.
Now, I was at the ribbon cutting ceremony. It's a beautiful new facility, 801 East Sibley Boulevard on the corner of Sibley and Cottage, right
Yes.
across from Thornridge High School. It's a beautiful facility.
Thank you.
I had the opportunity to meet your staff, the
Yes.
professionals that were there. Everyone they were phenomenal.
They are
the first day when I
wonderful.
met the staff.
They are wonderful, and I could not have done this without them. They are the ones that also keep up with the tax laws. And Allison, did you see this? And are we going to start to offer that? And whenever we have a new scenario that comes, they're like, okay, so what are we going to do? Because things are constantly changing. In 2020, things were like this one day, and they were totally the opposite the next day. And so having the greatest team in the world, which I do, helps me to be able to do what I do and stay abreast of the changes that we're experiencing as a result of COVID-19.
Right, that's true. Well, is there anything else that we need to cover today? I know that we talked about so much. We talked about tax debt, returns, and accuracy guarantees, and advance on the returns, and extension dates, and all the ins and outs, and things for seniors.
Yes. No, I'm looking forward to working with the residents in the city of Dolton and the staff here at the Village of Dolton. And I just want to say thank you so much for your warm welcome. And we are looking forward to partnering with you in every aspect of business.
Okay.
And so thank you so much.
You're welcome. We'll have to have you back again. I won't
Please
put you on the
do.
spot and ask you now, but I think it would be nice if we could do a Q&A with residents at some point.
Sure.
Where if they have questions, we can just have you there, or we can do something at the facility to make sure we inform residents as much as possible.
Absolutely, I would love to.
All right. Before we close out today, we want to take a moment for our Black History Month highlight. Today we honor the men and women that created Black Wall Street. Black Wall Street, former by name of the Greenwood neighborhood in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where in the early 20th century, African Americans created a self-sufficient, prosperous business district. Historically, African Americans worked mainly as servants in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where they developed their own society and economy. Black business clustered on the strip of the land that would become Greenwood in 1905, when African Americans acquired that land. Entrepreneurs opened businesses, grocery stores, barbershops, medical practices, and real estate agencies. They even had their own newspaper and school. The term Black Wall Street was used until the Tulsa race riot of 1921. The riot, however, took a heavy financial toll and destroyed businesses. But the resilient residents of Greenwood met resistance. Professionals and entrepreneurs slowly began to rebuild. A massive reconstruction of the district was completed in 1922, only 1 year after the riot and without the help of the greater Tulsa community. 80 businesses were opened by the end of 1922. The name Black Wall Street has been applied more generally to districts of African American high economic activity throughout the years. Well, we want to thank everyone for tuning in to this week's edition of Dolton News Now. We look forward to continue to bring you more information, interviews, and live coverage to keep you informed and engaged. Meanwhile, we ask that you like, subscribe, and share all of our communication platforms. We look forward to seeing you next week.